Is one of Justin Bieber's closest confidants. Hailey Bieber has been jealous of Eddie and Justin's relationship for a long time, especially at this last Coachella where Justin couldn't get his hands off of Eddie.
Oh shit.
He's exceptionally gifted.
He is. And he has just such a big heart. His ears,
dude,
are out of this world. Like the things he hears and how he can, his ears, bro, it makes me smile because his ears are some of the most special I've ever witnessed since I was little. I just knew even the decisions he would make before I was able to sit with him and create. His ears are just so special.
Eddie Benjamin isn't just another name in Justin Bieber's circle. He's one of Justin's closest ride or die friends. And word on the street is that Hailey Bieber has been side-eyeing their bond for a long time, especially after this last Coachella, where Justin could barely keep his hands off Eddie. People have been talking and the whispers are getting louder. Lately, Eddie's been more than just a friend. He's been a major player behind the scenes, even helping put together Justin's entire album. But now, everyone's asking, who is Eddie Benjamin? Where did he come from? And what's up with his strange connection to Sia? Oh, we're breaking it all down right now. By popular demand, we're doing a deep dive into Justin Bieber's so-called secret boyfriend. Just playing. His name's Eddie Benjamin, and while the romance rumors are just gossip, there's no denying they're tight. Eddie is one of those cool, low-key hipster types you always see lurking in the background, popping up at events, never far from Justin's side. Here's where it gets real interesting. Before all this fame, Eddie actually lived with Sia. Yes, the pop icon. And yes, she's way older than him. People couldn't help but raise eyebrows over that unusual living arrangement. Eddie's story starts all the way down under in Australia. He was raised in a super artsy home. His mom's a dancer, his dad's a touring drummer, so music was in his blood from the jump. By the time he was 14, he was already performing at Sydney clubs as a freelance musician. He even formed a band, the Hayes Trio, with a couple of classmates during his teen years. Now let's check out a clip of just how crazy talented this guy really is.
Oh shit.
Eddie's got that deep musician vibe. You know, the kind where they're so locked into the rhythm, it's like the instrument is part of them. He's dropped plenty of tracks under his own name, but here's the thing. I've never really sat down and played his songs, and maybe that's because Eddie's more of a behind-the-curtain guy, making magic for other artists instead of chasing the spotlight. He's worked with some serious names, Meghan Trainor, Earth, Wind and Fire, and even Shawn Mendes. But 2022? That's when his whole life flipped upside down. That's when Eddie crossed paths with Justin Bieber and snagged a spot as one of the opening acts for the Justice Tour.
Should be me, that should be me, that should be me in your kiss. That should be me when you kiss. This is so wrong, I can't go on.
From there, the connection was instant. Two music heads who clearly clicked, almost giving off a Benny Blanco kind of energy. Now here's where things get really wild. Let's rewind to how Sia entered Eddie's life. Their connection? Super close. If you've seen the stories about Sia and Maddie Ziegler, you know it's a whole different level of attachment. Sia is Maddie's godmother, and she's always played this protective, almost family-like role. Well, turns out Eddie was dating Maddie, which pretty much made him part of Sia's inner circle overnight. Eddie even admitted, Sia's been like a mother to me in LA. My girlfriend is Maddie Ziegler. That family has taken me in. We've become really good friends. It's nice to have another Australian around. She has a lot of wisdom. It's been beautiful. Couldn't ask for a more supportive family. Sia herself doubled down, calling Eddie her Australian son. She said, "You didn't have your family in town when we met, so I was like, I'm gonna have to be your mom here." adding that she became extremely protective over him, just like she is with Maddie. She even promised, if anyone offers you a deal, I'll research it myself. Nobody's gonna take advantage of you. And then, in classic Sia style, she nicknamed him her little pixie son, bright, awesome, humble, and a real dingus. And just when you think that's the whole story, rumor has it there's a blind item floating around saying there's been a nasty accident in Hollywood, and someone's gonna have to pay up. The problem here, nobody's stepping up to own what's going on. Over on Reddit, the conversation is heated. A lot of people are side-eyeing this situation, especially the fact that Sia, who's way older, has been opening her home to all these young artists. One user wrote, "So Maddie and Eddie were already dating. Then Maddie introduced Sia to her boyfriend. Then Sia moved Maddie's boyfriend into her house. That's a setup that had people raising their eyebrows instantly." Another person brought up a quote from Sia herself. "I love you. I'm always here for you. I know you're your mom's baby, but I'm gonna be asking permission if I can take on some kind of maternal role in your life." While it sounds sweet on the surface, some commenters felt it crossed personal boundaries. One person flat out called it nutty and reminded everyone that Eddie is somebody's son. Then the comments got even more blunt, with users accusing Sia of hiding behind a protective persona to excuse behavior that feels too intense. People are saying the public sees Sia as this saint who pulled Maddie out of a tough spot and helped her career. But some think that image is glossing over questionable behavior. One person even claimed they were concerned about a few other young people living on her property, suggesting the whole thing feels off. The concern online is that the music industry often ignores these situations if the public image is shiny enough. I just hope Maddie and anyone else close to her have at least one grounded adult in their lives, one commenter wrote. And then came the question everyone wanted answered. If Maddie and Eddie were to split, what happens next? Does Eddie move out? Do he and Sia stay close? Well, it looks like we got our answer, because after Eddie and Maddie called it quits, Justin Bieber suddenly became a very big part of Eddie's world. Eddie and Justin's worlds collided in 2022 when Eddie opened on Justin's tour. And from that moment, the connection was obvious. Social media lit up with posts of them hanging out, and Justin even hyped Eddie up as the next generation of music. Fast forward to this year. Justin drops his album Swag, and guess who's all over the credits? Eddie! He co-wrote 11 out of the 21 songs. That's more than half the album. But here's where things got messy. The album rollout was a total scramble. Word is, Justin, Eddie, and the whole team were late turning it in, and when it finally hit streaming, Apple Music and Spotify weren't even given enough time to properly list everyone's credits. That little hiccup caused major confusion over who actually worked on the project, and some fans didn't see Eddie's name right away. Still, the love between the two was front and center online. Eddie posted, "Made an album with my bestie. My love for this is so deep, so grateful to lean on you as a friend. The fact that we get to make music together is the cherry on top. You teach me so much. True friend. This has been my favorite musical experience I've had, making some soulmates along the way. The swag is beyond real, always been swag." Of course, the internet had its opinions. One commenter snarked, "So basically, he wrote all of it and Justin was in the room sleeping just to get the credits." Another questioned, 11 tracks? Basically, he's Justin Bieber's ghostwriter. Whether you call him a creative partner, ghostwriter, or even a hippie handler, one thing's for sure. Eddie is all in when it comes to Justin. He even opened up about their bond in an interview with Zach Sang, sharing little glimpses of just how close they really are.
He's exceptionally gifted.
He is. And he has just such a big heart. His ears,
dude,
are out of this world. Like the things he hears and how he can, his ears, bro, it makes me smile because his ears are some of the most special I've ever witnessed since I was little. Even the decisions he would make before I was able to sit with him and create, his ears are just so special.
Eddie's got something unique going on. He lives with a condition called synesthesia. It's not an illness, just a fascinating neurological quirk where one sense triggers another. Some people with it can see colors when they hear music or even taste certain words. It's rare and sometimes linked to incredible memory and heightened creativity. For a musician like Eddie, it's like a secret superpower that makes his work even more vivid. But here's where things get personal. It almost feels like Eddie looks up to Justin as if he's larger than life.
His bright light of a gift of voice comes from just being, too. Like truly sitting in that essence. It's the same of getting the mind and the human lust out of the way. It creates just this really pure essence of creation, and I think like human being, not human doing, is really important.
And because these two seem so locked in, people have started asking, does Justin actually like Eddie more than he likes his own wife, Hailey? The internet has been buzzing with rumors about the nature of their bond, and every public show of affection from Justin toward Eddie only stirs the pot more. Meanwhile, some fans have pointed out that Justin's sweet posts for Eddie stand in sharp contrast to moments where Hailey seems left out or made to look bad. Add in a few spicy blind items hinting about their chemistry, and the speculation only grows. Apparently, Justin and Eddie even avoid being photographed arriving at the same spots because they're always together, and they don't want to make it too obvious. One Reddit user claimed they were at a VIP Coachella after-party hosted by Charlie XCX, where German singer Bill Kaulitz said he saw something eyebrow-raising. According to him, Justin was hardcore cuddling and getting very physically affectionate with Eddie, while Hailey sat right there looking visibly uncomfortable. Bill later talked about it on his podcast, describing the moment as awkward, even saying it felt like Justin and Eddie needed to get a room. That eyewitness account, paired with Hailey's reaction, only made the gossip explode. Because it wasn't just online chatter anymore. People were now claiming to have seen this bromance in full force, up close and personal. Honestly, that moment speaks volumes. If you saw it in person, you'd instantly get the vibe of this love triangle. One comment online summed it up. Justin will cuddle with anyone other than his own wife. Another chimed in that this whole story is only fueling the rumors. Now, people close to the friends, not the couple as the speculation goes, insist there's nothing romantic happening. They say it's all about creative synergy, a type of connection that's rare and hard to explain. Very Hollywood, right? That whole "it's not romance, it's energy" line. Fans, though, can't ignore the signs. They point to the way Justin and Eddie stand so close at events, the late-night studio sessions that reportedly turned into all-night hangouts, and the fact that Eddie wasn't just a contributor, he was a huge part of Justin's album. He co-wrote a ton of the tracks and even lent his vocals. But here's the thing, some listeners questioned just how quickly that album came together, and they're not wrong. Apparently, the recording kicked off during a last-minute mountain retreat. And if you remember, Justin was at that retreat barely a month and a half ago, which means they turned out a whole project in record time, fast enough to make people wonder if the rush was part of the plan, or if there's more to the story than we're being told. By now, this Just Friends narrative is starting to sound like Hollywood PR at its finest. But the scenes we've been seeing tell a very different story. In the last few months, Justin and Eddie have been spotted at private dinners tucked away in dimly lit corners of trendy LA spots, leaning in close and talking for hours. Paparazzi snaps? None. These aren't publicized moments. They're the kind of nights where the only proof comes from the people in the room who can't help but whisper about what they saw. Insiders claim that Justin's been spending more late nights with Eddie than with Hailey, and that the vibe between them feels more like a locked-in partnership than a casual friendship. One source described it as, they're in their own world, like nobody else exists when they're together. And in an industry where image is everything, that kind of connection doesn't go unnoticed. Then there's the creative side, because apparently they've already started working on another batch of songs together, this time in total secrecy. No label deadlines, no outside producers, just the two of them holed up in Eddie's home studio, experimenting and vibing until sunrise. It's got fans asking, Is this about making music or making sure they always have an excuse to be around each other? Hailey, meanwhile, has been keeping a noticeably lower profile when Justin and Eddie are out together, which some fans take as a sign she's over the constant speculation. But others think her silence speaks louder than any denial, especially after she liked and quickly unliked a cryptic Instagram post that read, "When they choose someone else's company over yours, believe them." And here's the kicker. An anonymous blind item hit social media last week, hinting that two high-profile male artists are about to get caught in a storm of questions after a video surfaces from a very exclusive after-party. The rumor that the clip shows the pair looking way more affectionate than collaborators usually do. No names were mentioned, but let's just say the internet already made its guesses. At this point, it's hard not to think there's more going on behind the scenes. And honestly, it does kind of sound like it. But I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Justin and Eddie are just tight friends with unmatched creative energy? Or is there a deeper connection that they're keeping under wraps? One thing's for sure, Eddie's not disappearing from Justin's life anytime soon. If he ever did step away, you can bet we'd see the fallout all over Instagram. We've watched it happen before. Every time Justin has a messy split with someone in his inner circle, it turns into a public spectacle. And this one? Oh, it would be massive! Between the late-night hangouts, the whispers at exclusive parties, and the fact that Eddie's fingerprints are all over Justin's music, it's safe to say this bond is as locked in as it gets. Whether it's friendship, artistry, or something more, it's got the internet in a chokehold, and it's not letting go anytime soon. So, here's where you come in. Tell me in the comments what deep dive you want me to tackle next. Is there another celebrity connection you think deserves the spotlight? Or maybe a scandal that's been flying under the radar but needs to be exposed? And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you don't miss the next big drop. We've got plenty more celebrity drama to uncover, and trust me, you're not gonna want to miss it. Oh, and stick around. Your next dose of jaw-dropping Hollywood tea is right on the screen. Click it, and I'll see you over there for even more wild celebrity stories.